Thank you. So, with the pressure of the lunch break approaching, and in fact the end of the ESPON seminar, it is my great honor to present you the future presidency. It was 10 years ago. I was in France, in Bordeaux, and it was my first ESPON seminar I have attended. And I remember that I realized we will have to organize an ESPON seminar in Romania. And then I said, when is that? It's in 2019. Okay, fine, it's far away. So now it's only 1 month away that we have to start the actual presidency, although I can say that the preparing activity has been as demanding as probably the actual activity will be. So let me just start. Our presidency has a mandate which is future-oriented, and our main aim is to advance the European agenda and to progress on all the topics that have been started by the previous presidencies. And my presentation will focus, of course, on the subjects that are of interest to ESPON, so the territorial cohesion and urban matters. But first of all, let me just briefly inform you about our logo and slogan. The logo is a symbol of the confidence that Romania is giving to young people. It has been chosen after a contest where only pupils and students could participate, and so the logo was designed by a 15 years old. That's to show our trust in the younger generations. And it indicates a moving and self-assured and dynamic European Union, but that is also attached to its values, because the logo represents a wolf, and it can also bridge to the attachment to the protection of biodiversity. And as for the slogan, cohesion, a common European value, it recalls the principle of unity, and of course everybody in the room is familiar with the significance of reducing the disparities, including the territorial disparities. So our priorities are grouped in 4 large themes, which are converging Europe, growth, cohesion, competitiveness, and connectivity. And then there's the Europe of safety. The third one is Europe, a stronger global actor, acting on security and defense policy and consistency of policy with the neighborhood. And then the Europe of common values. So I can say that we are both anxious and excited for the activities regarding the territorial and urban matters, and we are anxious because there's a lot of work coming in, and we are excited because I think that there has been good progress made by the previous presidencies, and we think that we can also, we are quite ambitious with our program. So first, I will speak about the territorial cohesion priorities. We are, of course, involved in the revising process of the EU territorial agenda, and you can see there that there's a new trio of presidencies, Romania, Finland, and Croatia, which will be complemented by Germany, because the new territorial agenda, according to the calendar, will be approved during the German presidency. So during our presidency, we will have the first conclusions concerning the topics for the revised territorial agenda. And our focus will be on functional urban areas and on the relation between functional urban areas and areas in decline, and thus analyzing better the role of functional urban areas for territorial cohesion. As for the urban priorities, urban development priorities, first of all, we are very much committed to the implementation of urban agenda for the European Union. That's why we are lead partner for the Jobs and Skills Partnership together with the cities of Rotterdam and Jelgava. And during our presidency, we will support the process of implementing the urban agenda actions, and we will present the final outcomes of the Amsterdam partnerships and hopefully also approve the action plans of the Maltese partnerships. So we will present the first results of the urban agenda for the European Union. And it does not stop here. We also are engaged in continuing the work that has been done. We will start the partnerships that have been agreed during the Bulgarian presidency, the one concerning culture and cultural heritage, and the one concerning security in public space. And then we will also coordinate the discussion on the future of the European agenda for the European Union, Of course, it's also of much importance to ensure the link between the urban agenda and the territorial agenda renewal process. So we will continue to identify common themes and activities. And last but not least, we also will coordinate the discussion concerning the position of the member states in relation with the proposed financial framework for the post-2020 funding period. And I can say that all these priorities that have been presented will be included in a declaration adopted by the ministers in a ministerial informal meeting that will take place in Bucharest. But I will come back to that at the end of the calendar. So just briefly present you the calendar of events during our presidency related to territorial cohesion first. So the task force for the renewal of the Territorial Agenda 2020, which is composed by recent presidencies and future presidencies, and also with the participation of ESPON, of the European Commission, and the Committee of Regions. There will be 2 meetings during our presidency in order to elaborate on the topics to be amended and included in the territorial agenda post-2020, and to discuss possible pilot actions and so on. I will not insist too much on that. And then in March we will have the NTCCP meeting, which will also benefit from the ESPON inputs from projects such as the European Territorial Reference Framework and Compass. And there will be also an ESPON policy brief hopefully available by then to be discussed. So our intention is to collect the good practices as a basis for inspirational communication, and to explore the position related to the proposed territorial cohesion regulations. And this meeting will be followed in May by a meeting of the General Directors meeting on territorial cohesion, where we will further deepen these issues. And as for the urban agenda and meetings related to urban development, we will start with the meetings of the Urban Agenda Technical Preparatory Group that will have almost the same composition as the Task Force for the Territorial Agenda Renewal, only with Eurocities also involved. And we will debate the first draft of the Bucharest Declaration in the first meeting, and then we will discuss several other issues which will also be discussed during the Urban Development Group, which will take place in relation with the NTCCP meeting. And there we will also coordinate the discussion on the implementation and current state of play of urban agenda, and we also revive the discussion on the reference framework for sustainable cities. Then this will be followed by the Directors General meeting, which will take place on the 8th of May, and there we will have a third draft version of the Bucharest Declaration, and it's the same subjects that have already been presented during the previous meetings that will be further elaborated and coming to a final state so that the Bucharest Declaration can be approved during the informal ministerial meeting, which will take place on the 13th and the 14th of June in Bucharest. The main results will be also to launch the new partnerships of the urban agenda. And now, this was the structure from a thematic point of view, but this table shows better maybe the chronological order of the events. So just to say that I saved the best for last, if the ministries will not mind that I consider ESPON seminar as important as the ministerial meeting. We will invite you to Iași, which is a vibrant and dynamic city, although it is in a quite poor development region, and it is in the extreme periphery of the European Union, maybe 10 kilometers away from the European Union border. On the 19th and the 20th of June, we will organize the ESPON seminar. It will be preceded by the monitoring committee meeting, and then on the 20th and the 21st of June, there will be the ESPON contact point meeting. So that's it from my side. More about the Romanian presidency can be found on the special website designed. And thank you for your attention, and have a great lunch break.